number 5 in our beginner series. I'm Colin Cadet, and today in 5 minutes I'm going to show you everything about the drill press. Just like any other woodworking tool, there's a little bit of a setup, and with the drill press the first thing you want to check is the speed that the bit is going to be turning at. I'm going to show you how to do that. We change the speed of a drill press by releasing the belt and moving the belt down to a different pulley combination, and then relocking it. Most drill presses have a guide on them to show you what speeds that you can set the pulleys at. Typically we use slower speeds for metal, a medium for wood, and higher speeds for polishing and for very small bits. So let's have a look at the business end. Now this is the chuck, and everybody knows that, and of course there's a key. Most of them have a key that you need to open and close them. But let's have a look at the chuck itself. And if you look closely at the chuck, most chucks on most drill presses have 3 jaws, but you'll notice they also have 3 holes for tightening the bits with. If you ever find in your drilling that your drill is not running true, it's probably not the drill bit, it's probably the chuck. And that's because you might need to tighten all 3 jaws to put equal pressure on all 3 jaws so that the bit runs true. We're going to check to make sure that the table is square. I'm going to tighten up all 3 sides. We need to check that side, and that side looks good, and I'll check it on this side, and that side looks good as well. I want to talk about some drill presses have a wheel here. I really like those. This one has 3 arms, and I take off this arm and this arm, and the reason is because when I'm using this, I find that 2 of these get in the way very often, and if I set the table height correctly, I can use 1 lever, and 1 lever for me works far better than trying to juggle 3 of them. Now when it comes to drilling, you always want to have a backer board, especially if you're drilling through wood. And the reason for that is the backer board will act a little bit like a zero clearance on a table saw, because when the drill goes all the way through the wood that you're drilling and starts entering the backer board, it ends up cutting so that there's less tear out. When we look at drill press safety, people think that they're a very safe tool because they're not spinning at a high speed, but they can still be dangerous because they're spinning at a low speed. It means they're geared down. And essentially, this is like a winch in your workshop, because if you're drilling something and the drill bit gets caught in a piece of wood, it can spin that around. If you're trying to hold it by hand, it can tear that out of your hand. And of course, when you're using a drill press, you always want to use good quality safety glasses, and we recommend that you clamp everything to the table. There's all sorts of different clamps, and that's especially true if you're using small pieces, if you're drilling holes in small pieces, and if you're drilling pieces of steel, because they can very easily catch and grab that right out of your hand. One of the things that makes drill presses so valuable is all the different accessories that there are available for them. For example, if you're using mortise and tenons and you need to cut square holes for the tenons to go in, there's an adapter for that. There's plug cutters for making plugs of things. This is very important. If you're cutting into any kind of steel, you want to pick up some cutting oil. Very important. I always keep some vice grips handy because sometimes I need to hold on to something, and this is a very quick, easy way that my hands are not going to be close to the bit and I'm not going to get injured. There's all sorts of different drill bits are available. We're going to cover those in a separate video altogether. There's some Forstner bits. I use those a lot. There's little sanding drums, and they sit in the the drill press. They're great little things. There's drill sharpening devices. This little drill doctor, I use that constantly. There's hole saws for cutting bigger holes. There's clamping devices. This is a vise for holding things on the drill press table. And this is a light, a magnetic light. It just sits on the side of my drill press. It's an LED light, and it just twists off and on. It only runs on a couple batteries, but it lasts for a long time because it's LED. Another great little accessory. So there's tons of things available for a drill press. Because we have new people coming on all the time, we like to remind everybody, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it if you go to our Facebook page and give us a like. If you're not already following us on Twitter, we ask you to do that. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Stay tuned because we've got lots more videos coming your way.